Ooh, what's up, Internet? Today we're going to be going over the 10 items from today's Nintendo Direct that I happen to give a shit about. Let's go. Now, don't mind the footage in the background. It's just the Nintendo Direct playing over again. I didn't want to pull clips because, well, I'm lazy and I got work to do, but I did want to talk about this today. So, if your favorite thing from today's Nintendo Direct is not in this video, I'm sorry. It just didn't interest me. There's a lot that doesn't interest me. I'm a very specific gamer. Now, starting off at the least interesting to me, but something that at least was interesting enough for me to write it down, mainly because I wanted to get to 10. Monument Valley. This is a puzzle game series that I've never heard of. Looks like they're going to be going on to the third entry, and this qualifies as something that is just what I'm looking for as a palate cleanser, assuming they're not like monumentally long ass games. When I'm playing my RPGs, I would love something to switch over to if I'm getting burnt out or if I need something to bridge the gap between the next RPG. It sounds like something that might be right up my alley. I would say that there's a few items on this list, and it's always like this with Nintendo Directs for me, because I'm a physical-only gamer. If it's digital only, unless it's something very, very specific, I'm probably just not interested on the basis that it's digital only. So with that, and the next item on the list, seeing as the next item releases today, and I hadn't known that it was going to be made to begin with, Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. With it releasing today, it makes me wonder if it's digital only, and then someone like Limited Run or... I'm trying to think, who released the first Saga Frontier game on the Switch? I had it, I got rid of it. I'm probably going to have to get it again because I'm on a PS1 on Switch kick lately. So... yeah, it kind of hinges on whether or not it's going to have a physical release. Otherwise, it might be something I just pass over. Number 8 on my list, counting down. Everybody's Golf. There's a couple items in this Direct that I always just associated with Sony and PlayStation. Everybody's Golf, I could have swore, was a PlayStation-only series. And it's funny to mention that because maybe I'm just wrong, but it feels like in my video from yesterday, I was literally talking about wanting PS1 RPGs that might have been published or, maybe even developed by Sony on the Switch, like Wild Arms. So it's kind of weird, like maybe that door isn't all the way closed. So that is very interesting to me. Saga Frontier is one that I did not get into, at least the second game I did not get into. The first game was a rental as a kid, and I was okay with it just being a rental. But, like I said before, PS1 kick right now, but I want to play them on my Switch. So it's something I could see being interested in if it's physical. Number 7 on my list, and this was the last thing they announced, and it's too early to even know how big of a deal it's going to be, but Nintendo Today. Nintendo Today is a new app that basically gives you Nintendo news straight from the source, which is really interesting. We'll have to see where it goes. I downloaded it already, signed in, lets you pick a few preferences. It's nice. It's nice to think that I don't have to see Splatoon news because I don't care about Splatoon. I don't care about Xenoblade Chronicles. It's nice that it might allow you to just sidestep that because you could select what franchises you're interested in. But we'll see how that actually plays out. Too early to tell, but I had to make the list. Next up, I'm a big fan of compilations. We have Gradius Origins coming to the Nintendo Switch and likely everything else too. Am I a big fan of shoot 'em ups? I'll play them for a little bit. Like, I'm not good at them. I have no actual desire to get good at them. But Something I might pick up down the line for like $30 or less. I could see it. Number 5 on the list. This one is interesting in that I don't know enough about it. I've never heard of this game before. I don't know if this is the first time it's been announced. It might be something that ends up on all systems. Witchbrook. It's basically isometric Harry Potter simulator, but not branded, not licensed. I need to see more if it's like an actual story where you play through and it has a beginning and end, or is it something that just you're meant to play it forever like Minecraft or something, where it's just like you just keep going to the school, you keep exploring this world with no story in sight. It didn't really show much for story in the trailer that they showed, so I need to know more. But I am very interested in both the subject matter because I do like Harry Potter. I would like to play in that world. I didn't dip into Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch because it probably runs like ass. I haven't actually heard anybody talk about it, but I did watch a Let's Play of it back when it came out, and the game looked amazing. This is definitely not that, obviously. So it is nice to have, well, it feels wrong to call it a dumbed-down version of a Hogwarts game on the Switch, but you got to take what you can get, I guess. Next up, and what I would predict will be one of the more valuable games in the future, just the way the Rhythm Heaven franchise has gone. Rhythm Heaven Groove. Very slow start to the trailer, but I think everybody who's in the know was on the same page and knowing what it was when they first started showing it. It's that quirky Japanese rhythm game, Rhythm Heaven. It looks like a lot of fun. I will say this game and another one on my list are games that I never really would have been able to play when I was younger, because my main form of playing handhelds was in a public setting with some friends, hanging out, watching some TV, and I'm just doodling around on my Pokemon game. Back in the day, you muted your handhelds. That's just what you did. You didn't have it blaring, and I only really would play them while I was hanging out with friends. So it was always kind of awkward, because one of the other items on this list, which we'll get to in a little bit, much higher on the list for me, is one that's just like socially unacceptable to be playing, just because it's like, what are you doing? Could you turn that down? Thank you. What the hell, dude? So it's hitting at the right time of my life to play a rhythm game like this. Next up, Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, it's hard for me not to say Arceus. Or Arceus, if we want to go with revisionist history on that. It's just because you've been saying Arceus or Arceus for after Legends for so long that it's weird to me to say a different thing after it. Anyway, when they did the Pokemon Direct, I feel like the general consensus was it was very underwhelming looking. And now I gotta say, I feel a little bit better about it after today's Direct. And what I mean is that first like 15 seconds they showed, I feel like they edited that in like such a dynamic way that it looked really, really interesting. And maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe they had that in the Pokemon Direct. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. But I was definitely a lot more compelled to want to be day one on this next Pokemon Legends game. Number 2, like I alluded to, Patapon. Patapon is a series. Actually, I'm gonna go grab the cartridge or the PSP games off my shelf, because I'm interested to know, and I don't have them. What the hell? Wow, I got rid of these a while ago apparently, because I realized I was not going to play them on the PSP. But at one point I had all 3. So I had the first Patapon game back in the day when I had my PSP, and I was always hanging out with friends, and it's a game where you definitely need the volume up, and I didn't want to put headphones on. That was just not what I wanted to do back then. So it was like really kind of awkward, and eventually someone would say something like, dude, could you turn that down? Because it's just pata, pata, Patapon, pata, pata, over and over again, because that's how you move. That's how you move. And if you were to play it muted, you'd probably lose your mind, honestly. I imagine that's one step towards insanity. But I am definitely looking forward to that. I'll have to do some research because I don't have the game physically anymore. I could have sworn this was put out by Sony. But anyway, let's move on to the number one thing I'm looking forward to the most, and it ain't Metroid because I don't play Metroid games. It's Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I actually was wearing my my Marvel hoodie earlier, and I took it off because I didn't want it to be obvious. I don't want to always look like a Marvel shill, which I am. But you give me a good, amazing looking beat 'em up, and I'm in. I'm in. In terms of genres, I think RPG is my favorite, and then beat 'em up is probably a close second in terms of what I want to play all the time. And this beat 'em up actually looks really, really good, to be honest with you. It looks like you have it's hard to say you have a wide variety of characters because they only show like 5 different characters. I think they showed Storm, Spider-Man, Venom, Captain America, Nova, Wolverine. That's 6. Is that like 6 characters? Like, how many characters do we think we would get in this? That's an interesting thing. I kind of wonder how much are going to be locked behind DLC, to be honest with you, and how much replay value the game would have. That's things I think about when it comes to beat-em-ups like that. But definitely something I'm looking forward to. We've only made it maybe 10 minutes into this Nintendo Direct, but we're going to be out because that's my list. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to, and I'll be seeing you.